How Long Gone is here. It is me, Chris Black. You're back in LA, right? I'm freezing. What's up?
Oh, baby. As I jogged down Melrose today, I saw a beautiful picture of Harry Styles above the Gucci store on Melrose Place, and I knew I was home.
Grammy-nominated artist Harry Styles.
Grammy-nominated artist Harold Stylish. But yeah, I mean, we've gotten some requests because the Grammy nominations came out just this morning. And, you know, we should go through that quickly before we talk to our guests who are also in the music business. But
yep.
So, I don't know where to start exactly, but I guess I'll start where the New York Times started. And that's with Record of the Year. So we've got, ABBA, Adele, Beyonce, Mary J. Blige, Brandy Carlisle featuring Lucius, Doja Cat, Steve Lacy, Kendrick Lamar, Lizzo,
yeah,
and Harold Stylish.
So this is Record of the Year.
Record of the Year. None of this really tickles my fancy too much. I mean, nothing's worse than Kendrick Lamar, Lizzo, Brandy Carlisle featuring Lucius, not really my bag. Mary J. Blige is dusty. Break My Soul by Beyonce did grow on me. ABBA, I've never heard the song. Adele, I love, but I have to give it to our dog, Steve Lacy. I hate to say it. Bad Habit might be the best song on the list.
Yeah, so it's confusing when they call it Record of the Year and not album or single, right? I guess they're trying to preserve that kind of old speak or whatever. So, yeah, I would agree with you. It's got to be Steve Lacy. It's the only song out of this bunch that had like a good story behind it. It debuted at number 100 and slowly rose thanks to our friends over at TikTok. You guys over there in China rock. Don't do anything with my special data, please. and it's also like you hear the song come on and it is an odd, funky groove that is not normal for 2022, and it's actual music with guitars and drums, and it's weird and artsy, and it's also the catchiest song of the year. It is what it is.
Yeah, when I describe you, I like to say, funky and weird as well. It sounds like you're it sounds like you're describing a wine, but you're actually describing Steve Lacy. But album of the year, more of the same, except we got Bad Bunny in the motherfucking mix. You already know. Mm-hmm. And although I don't listen to Bad Bunny, his status in the world is so large that I feel like he deserves it just for that. I don't know how Coldplay made it on here. That feels like a psyop in 2022. Coldplay literally makes like music that's not even good enough for elevators at this stage.
But they used to be so sick.
I
guess sick is not the word for it, but it was a big guilty pleasure, Coldplay.
I mean, we got the songwriter stuff too, but we don't want to get into that here. There's too many names on these things.
Yeah, it's the same shit as Instagram when your dumb little friend does a little photo shoot and they have to list and catering. here's the tag. Here's the Instagram @ of my friend's mom who waited in the car while her son did the PA work. Like, they list everyone except for the model. That's what's wrong with this world. And same thing for the fucking Grammys. It's like, okay, so is nominated for the Song of the Year for DJ Khaled, which he didn't do anything on it, obviously, ever.
No, that's not true. Khaled is listed.
So God did, which is a great song by Tariq Azouz, E. Black Mon, Khaled, F. LeBlanc, Sean Carter, John Stevens, Dwayne Carter, William Roberts, Nicholas Warmar, DJ Khaled, Rick Ross, Lil Wayne, Jay-Z, John Legend, and Friday with 2 Ys. What the flying fuck?
I mean, that's what it takes.
That's a ton of metal to make that Grammy for every one of those people.
The thing about looking at this songwriters list is I think Bonnie Raitt should win because guess how many names are on her song? Just one, Bonnie Raitt.
That's right.
So let's just give it to her. Off rip, Bonnie Raitt should win for having only one credit, her own name. Now, but Best New Artist is where we're going to have to get into it, Jason, because we got your girl Anita.
Anita?
Another Spanish language superstar, known hottie and bottom for Frank Ocean, Omar Apollo. Mm-hmm. Dami and JD Beck, never heard of him. Mooney Long, never heard of him. Samira Joy, never heard of him. Big Lotto, you already know where my vote's going.
Yeah, I mean, whenever I see Lotto name listed, it's the same thing for me as when I see Chinatown Market change their name to Market. We're still calling Lotto Mulatto, and we're still calling Market Chinatown Market.
Okay.
Don't forgive.
I was there. Main Skin, who I don't, they wear too much makeup for me, and I lived through the darkness in the early aughts, so I'm all good. Toby Nweek, I don't know. Molly Tuttle, I don't know. Wet Leg, Okay. I got to give it to Big Lotto for me. I mean, she's the only one that's she's the only one that's interesting. I mean, I like Anita, but I can't understand the words.
Right. Maybe if it was Grammys in Come to Brazil Grammys, that'd be one thing. But also, I'm sure in Brazil or Sao Paulo or wherever Anita is from, she has been, a best new artist for the last 10 years or something like that,
Yeah.
She's already been beasting in the underground.
Let's skip ahead to dance electronic recording so I can get DJ Them Jeans to weigh in on this important.
Okay.
Break My Soul by Beyonce, Rosewood by Bonobo, and that's not the khakis dealer. That's with no S.
Bonobos.
Don't Forget My Love by friend of the show Diplo and friend of mine Miguel. I'm Good by David Guetta and BB Rexa, who's a psyop. Intimidated, K Tronada featuring industry plant Her, and On My Knees, Rufus, two umlauts, Do Soul. Of course, I've heard none of these songs. I'm going to vote for K Tronada because he's the only cool person on this list. I feel like Diplo wins enough, like in life.
Diplo wins a lot in life.
He's having sex with 4 different chicks a day. He's rich. He can surf. He puts a lot of pictures on Instagram where his shirt is off because he's so confident in his torso.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to give this one to our boy K Tronada.
He doesn't need the hardware. Yeah, I think I agree with that. 1000%. The other songs, whatever. And I don't even like K Tronada is boring for me, but so is everything else on this list. So whatever. I mean, David Guetta in 2022.
Yeah, I mean that's crazy.
Guys, what's going on?
All right,
here?
best rock performance. Let me get into my little fucking bag.
I don't know how we didn't. There's I don't know. That's a whole other podcast. But there's we didn't get any Fred again on there. I don't even care about Fred again, but something.
Well,
guys.
I think Fred again's album might have missed the cutoff. Release wise, is my guess.
Yeah, bro.
Best rock performance. Bryan Adams, So Happy It Hurts. Old Man by Beck. Wild Child by the Cursed Black Keys. Broken Horses by Brandy Carlisle. Crawl by Idols, produced by friend of the show Kenneth Beats. Patient Number 9, Ozzy Osbourne featuring Jeff Beck. That's fucking crazy. That's crazy. And Holiday by Turnstile. Patient Number 9, Ozzy Osbourne featuring Jeff Beck is absolutely like the fact that there's like a COVID truther special on the best rock performance is cool. I like that, but I can't give them my vote. Turnstile, I want to like it more than I do because I like it as a concept so much, and I think it's so cool how big they are. But I'm gonna have to just vote for Idols because I want Kenny Beats to have the hardware in the stew.
Yeah, I'm going with Idols as well. They put on spirited live performances when you see them live, but also like all those bands that we who listens to any of that shit, like Ozzy Osbourne and Jeff Beck, like. We're old and we didn't even know that came out. Like, who listens to this music?
Literally no.
Like, who listens to Ozzy Osbourne's new music? He can't even walk. He's just like,
no. And
they're like, yeah, let's throw him another Grammy.
It's hurting. Best rock album: Dropout Boogie by the Black Keys, The Boy Named If, Elvis Costello and the Imposters, Idols. Mainstream Sellout by Machine Gun Kelly. Patient Number 9 by Ozzy Osbourne. Lucifer on the Sofa by former guest of the show Spoon. Again, Black Keys, one of the worst bands of all time. Elvis Costello is an over-the-hill legend. Idols is, again, Kenny Beats, so I'm going to go with that. Mainstream Sellout by Machine Gun Kelly. I don't know if I could consider that a rock album. I don't know what the words are to describe that.
That is like a Hot Topic album, I guess. Or
the Spoon album, honestly, is pretty good, but it just sounds like Spoon so much that I just can't. I don't know. It's still not turned my camera on Spoon, so I can't get that excited about it. But last, before we get to our guest, we got best alternative music album. We've got We by the soft canceled Arcade Fire Band. We've got Dragon New Warm Mountain, I Believe in You by Big Thief, friends of the show, canceled because of their stance on Israel, but I think they're going to come back from that. Friend of the show Bjork, her new album, Wet Leg, and then Cool It Down by the Yeah Yeah Yes, which I do actually like, but I mean, obviously, I got to go Big Thief. I'm a thief head through and through, and they just no one's doing it like they do it, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't like any of these albums really. I mean, I guess the Yeah Yeahs one's pretty good, but. Come on, what's going on here, guys? Come on. I guess I'll give it to the Big Thief. I mean, I love Big Thief, but that new album didn't grab me by the pee-pee. And I'm never going to listen to Arcade Fire.
No, listening to Arcade Fire, except for a couple songs from the early albums, is bad. But I've seen a lot of people going to the shows, which looks sold out. So good for them. Good for Pitchfork. God Did, DJ Khaled, best rap performance. We got God Did. We got Pushin' P, Free Gunna, Free Young Thug. We have F&F Let's Go by Hit Kid and my girl Glorilla, Memphis Stand Up. And of course, we have The Heart number 5 by ventriloquist operator Kendrick Lamar.
This one's very easy. This is the only easy category for me, and I'm going Hit Kid and Glorilla on this one, obviously. What the fuck? We gotta go push.
We gotta go push and Pete. Glorilla, although I'm a huge fan, unfortunately, actually, Alex was saying the album doesn't deliver quite the way the singles do, if you could be surprised by that.
Well, luckily, this is not best rap album, and it's best rap performance.
No, you're right.
Nobody on God Did does any performing. Doja Cat is, I don't know, whatever. Pushin' P, and it's a good song, but I don't think it's a performance at all. It's somebody who's taking a nap after too many Yerk 30s, and they put a microphone in front of your mouth and like, say just whatever comes to your mind. And they're like,
yeah, but it created a more. I understand that you're focused on the category title, but I do think Push and P created a cultural shift. But I think Glorilla kind of did the same.
What does rap performance mean?
I don't know.
Like,
Jason.
there's album, there's song,
Who knows?
And then performance.
Who knows? But
it doesn't mean live. I mean, because I know Gunna and Young Thug ain't doing a lot of shows. The
they ain't got the TikTok phone in jail. But I think that we'll wait for our invite to the show, before we really get into it.
Yeah.
But our guests today also are in the music business, even though their name sounds like something that I go to often to get my Drake shirts pressed. Dry Cleaning is joining us today on How Long Gone. Their new album, Stumpwork, on 4AD, is out now. And it's got some great artwork and some great lyrics and other stuff. And they're British, so we know they're cooler than most of our guests.
That is correct. And they're just one of those weird bands that kind of just grips you and grabs you. There's really nothing else like it. The vocal style. I was doing some Googling about the word that you use to describe the way that kind of like talk and sing-songy situation. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of something from a different era a little bit. It's so like post-punk. I don't know. It's like if you're in the mood for it, it really hits. And I think it's hard for a lot of people to digest. That being said, I mean, obviously they've broken through in a pretty big way.
It's called Spreckgesang.
Why are you talking like that?
I believe it's a German phrase or term for the style of talk singing that appears in contemporary pop, rock, punk, and alternative music since the 60s. It can go anywhere from Bob Dylan to the B-52s to Sonic Youth, Slint, Cake, the Hold Steady, the list goes on.
Don't bring up Slint. We don't have time for this. All right, let's give Dry Cleaning a jingle and see how the pints are tasting. Tom, before we get started, we must talk about your animated GIF Zoom profile picture.
Oh yeah,
and what compelled you to do this, and are you okay?
Yeah, I'm absolutely fine, thankfully. That was made by Flo's boyfriend many years ago. There's a guy called Pedro. We used to live together, and we just went to an exhibition. I can't even remember where the exhibition was, and there was these giant ants, and I was just freaking out. So yeah, I actually didn't know it animated. It doesn't animate for me.
Oh yeah, it's wiggling. Your tongue is dancing. I didn't even know that you can have an animated GIF as your Zoom avatar.
Right, exactly.
I'm assuming this guy called Pedro is some type of computer hacker or something to pull something like this off.
Yeah, he lives on the internet. He's not a real person. Yeah, he's not.
Same.
I think every band or group of friends needs one of those guys.
Yeah, you need one of those guys. But I will say that I'm not personally feeling attacked, but I'm just going to put this out there and warn you that the kind of motion of your tongue could be seen as suggestive by some. So I just kind of want to flag that for you.
I'm loving it.
That's more of sheer terror, but I think if you come and see us live ever, there's quite a bit of tongue action, but it's more along the lines of gargoyle-esque than anything.
So you guys do stump work and tongue work.
I wouldn't say you'd ever see my performance and think it was sexually suggestive. I think it's much more sort of psychopath.
Okay.
I try mine to be sexually suggestive. I just think I foul really miserably at it.
We've all been there, but I think rock and roll can be sexy. But even if your genitals are covered by a bass guitar or a Stratocaster, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There still can be some thrusting and some other movements as a man on stage that kind of lets people know what you're feeling.
Absolutely. I mean, that Lewis has got that side of things covered. There's no need for me to get involved with any of the hip thrusting. I'm more sort of, like I say, unhinged vibe.
You say that. Where were we the other day? Like Utrecht. And I was dancing around on stage, and it's one of those nights where all my dance moves were kind of landing, and then I tripped over and fell into my pedal board, and then had to spend the rest of the set pretending to trip over like it was a dance move, like it's this new, really kind of modern kind of dance.
Oh, I understand. So you took the trip and you made it your own, and no one was the wiser. Is what you're saying.
There'd be like a Miles Davis quote about make a mistake and do it twice or whatever. We keep repeating it. Yeah, just use that.
Oh yeah.
This is a good idea.
So
I like
does
this.
that mean there are days when you're on stage where you're just you're wiggling around and it clicks and it works and it feels better than other days? Just not the music or the performance, but just the dancing.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. For me,
100%.
That's cool. I like it.
Yeah. It also depends what I've been doing. Like if we've been sitting around all day and I've been drinking, then it tends to be the most unhinged.
Mm-hmm.
If we've been hanging out or we've seen some nice stuff that day and we've been hanging out with friends and maybe I've had a smoke or something, like the devil's lettuce or something, and that's much more groove orientated then. I'm not I'm not really going for it quite so intensely. That's more sort of, I'm just kind of standing fairly still actually and just bobbing my head a little bit, that kind of
just having a bob.
I've also realized the surface of the stage changes my dance moves as well. Sometimes the stages are quite slippy.
Yeah, no, of course.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Where was that festival we played where it was raining onto the stage?
Oh, Helsinki. Jesus Christ. That was lethal.
Not Helsinki. So you're saying you guys are in Helsinki rocking the crowd and it's probably like afternoon?
Yeah, it's maybe like 5 in the afternoon.
No offense.
No offense. I just know that,
I assume you guys were opening.
Harry Styles goes on at midnight. You guys technically still play with Morrissey, even if you go on at 3 PM. He goes on at midnight. It still counts.
Well, I mean, we'd actually played the night before with Duran Duran, so,
Whoa.
Okay, big dick.
Yeah.
All right, damn, bro. Shut me down then. Damn. All right, dog. Shit.
So that's the level, guys. Okay.
So hold on. Let's come back to Helsinki. Now, were you handpicked by the lads in Duran Duran to kind of open for them in a large sized venue?
It was just us and them.
Damn.
At a castle in York.
Shit.
Yeah. Simon Le Bon's a big music fan and got in contact asking us to play with them. And then we got to hang out with them. He came into our dressing room between our set and their set and knew all our names.
Wow. That's an old school pro, and you don't. I really respect that, and I'm sure you guys aren't that level of pro, and you don't have to be because you're not kind of an elder statesman.
You will be though. You're well on your way to doing stuff like that when you're old.
Those guys, They were really cool, actually. They were really, really nice. They seemed once you actually meet them, they seem way more in on their own joke than you think they are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They seem to be laughing at themselves very happily, and I think that is a good sign.
Yeah, I would laugh at myself happily too if I was extremely rich and had an amazing amount of sex.
I've spent decades having sex with whoever you please.
Talking about old pros, he knew all our names. We said those guys about the rest of the band. I think that also says a lot.
How was the Duran Duran crowd when you were opening for them, or did they open for you?
It was an interesting crowd. There was a lot of flags, Union Jack flag T-shirts and clothing.
Union Jack clothing, yeah.
Rosé wine.
So you're saying
they were actually very nice. They were actually a very nice crowd. They didn't. It's one of those things where you look into the crowd and they're not giving you anything off, and you're thinking, "Oh, this is tanking.
Yeah.
And then actually when you walk around later, people come up to you and go, oh, that was really great.
Brilliant set.
Absolutely massive set, man. Massive set.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, I guess that kind of could apply to what style of music is being played, perhaps. You guys you don't have like these kind of Calvin Harris crescendo moments where
yeah, exactly.
You don't go 1, 2, 3, go.
Excuse you.
No, you're right.
I'm sorry, I could be wrong. I haven't seen you.
No one, your press guy did not send over the remix album that I was told I would get, and I'm waiting for the David Guetta dry cleaning remix. So you guys just let me know when that hits the inbox. You know
how people see our show and how I imagine our show is very different.
Yeah.
In my head, I'm really sexing. It is these big 1, 2, 3, 4 drops.
Right.
That's what is on my head when I'm on stage.
Okay, that's good. That's the way it should be.
Yeah, I mean, when you're up there in front of that many people and they're giving you nothing, do you just have to close your eyes and get into your own bag and feed off your own energy and know that this is going to be okay? Or do you have some struggle moments?
It can be a struggle, but I think I noticed something about myself recently. We saw some good friends of ours in a band called Gilla Band from Ireland. Mm-hmm. And we saw them at a festival in Poland, and I was watching them and I was thinking, this is one of the best things I've ever seen live. But I was standing with my arms crossed and my jaw open like I was catching flies in it. Like, so to them, I must have looked totally bored. I was absolutely loving it. So you just have to realize at times,
yeah, you're part of the problem.
I'm part of the problem.
I try to nod my head and bop around a little bit to let my friends and family that are on the stage rocking know that I'm enjoying it.
Mm-hmm. That's very kind of you.
I give back. Well, only if I'm AAA and I'm standing literally on the stage. If I'm actually forced to stand with the crowd, then I am looking pissed and annoyed, and they haven't given me any drink tickets or anything. So it's a little bit of a status thing for me.
Right.
The one thing I've realized, I can see a yawn a mile away.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how big the crowd
is.
is.
Yeah.
We played with Interpol earlier this year. 20,000 people. I saw
especially if it's me.
I saw every yawn.
Where did you guys play with Interpol? In like Mexico?
Yeah, good guess.
we had Paul on the show. We have some other friends in common. We're just like, bro, why are you guys so fucking big in Mexico? And it's kind of like inexplicable. Like, everybody has a theory, but I don't think anyone knows why exactly. People are drawn to their kind of dark vibes.
The closest theory I could get to is that people in South America love guitar music, rock music, more than you think they do. They love goth stuff. Morrissey is huge in Latin America.
Yeah.
And so I think they just love the whole 80s kind of miserable indie rock thing.
Makes two of us, Nation and me.
Exactly. I mean, in the arena when Interpol came on, I don't know about Lewis, but I've never seen a show like it. That the crowd sang every word.
Damn.
20,000 people singing every Interpol song.
Oh, it's true. They were screaming.
People are crying and passing out like it's a Michael Jackson concert in '85.
It's true. It's screaming.
How do you that makes sense, but how do we explain Brazil though? Because that's sort of the it's a similar energy in terms of like that rabid fandom where people go crazy, and obviously you have received "Come to Brazil" comments on your Instagram posts, I'm assuming. But like I think there's less rhyme or reason or predictability. Like Carolyn Polachek just played there. I just saw, and she has the #1 song in the country.
Wow.
And
we would never know.
Really?
Like she's she just played some big festival there, and she posted like above Beyonce and all these other like she has the #1 song in Brazil.
Wow.
And she doesn't have a whole lot of guitar going on unless it's like some weird shit, some elfin squire playing a ukulele or something.
It sounds like you guys are really a band's band. It sounds like you're getting picked out, you're getting plucked, by all these old heads to kind of share the stage. That must feel good, but who's the dream? Because, for me, it's like, I like Duran Duran, I like Interpol, but, I'm trying to open for the Killers.
Right.
Of that stature.
A real band.
Yeah, a real band. Kind of, oh, fuck you guys.
Quite early on, we've had a few bands that we're a fan of. As in before we even, from like the first EPs, before we even released the first album who were fans. Like Iggy Pop was quite early.
Damn.
Playing lots of our songs in one like DJ set.
Yeah.
He played us like 4 times and then was just reading our lyrics out.
He said our names once. Do you remember that, Lewis? He read our names out.
Do I? I've got it saved in my phone in my favourites.
Yeah.
I play it for my family every Christmas.
I play it for myself every night.
When that voice said my name, I like welled up. I was like, "What the fuck?"
Wow.
Like, that's insane.
Did he say full names, guys, or is it just?
Yeah, he's really pushed us on his show. He introduced our names to all these listeners. And
I've heard about this show. I've heard about the show. Is it like a Sirius XM thing? Like, where can you hear it?
It's on BBC Six Music.
Yeah, BBC Six Music, which is probably the largest alternative radio station in the UK. Yeah.
Oh, look, don't get it twisted, bro. We're very familiar with BBC. Okay, we've had Zane Lowe. Zane Lowe on this podcast. I don't want to stunt. He didn't mention you guys, but like we didn't bring you up either, so that's kind of our bad.
Do you know who? Can I name drop out of someone who's a fan of us, which was amazing.
Please,
it would be our honor.
Last year was at a festival. It might have been Latitude. And our booking agent was like, "You all need to come here and sit down." And we were like, "Okay." So
You're in big trouble, mister.
We went into like that's what we kind of thought. So we went to the catering tent, and he was like, "Sit down." And he was like, "Just received an email from Grace Jones saying that she's a fan and she wants you to play her Meltdown Festival in London."
Whoa,
wow,
that was a big one. Yeah,
wow.
I still haven't got over that one.
The fact that she knows how to send an email is also pretty impressive. I kind of wouldn't take her as.
Of course she does. She shucks her own oysters. Have you not heard about this?
No, what the fuck?
No,
are you talking
I did
about?
not know about this.
On her rider, she has like a dozen oysters unshucked. So is that the right term? So she wants to shuck them herself.
Yeah, that is correct. Unshucked oysters, because I don't trust you motherfuckers shucking my oysters.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you're telling me Grace Jones pulls up to, let's just say, use your words, a festival in Poland, for example, and she's like, "I need a dozen Wellfleets on ice and a small knife," and she's going to do it herself because she
carries her own knife.
That's a good point. Yeah.
If you know anything about seafood, I don't know anything about seafood. I thought I did, but I don't. Our sound guy, Grant, he's from Adelaide in Australia. He is of the same opinion. He carries his own shucking knife as well. As fresh as you can get those oysters.
Hold on. Your sound guy has enough time on the road to shuck his own oysters. You guys need to be working this guy harder.
Oh yeah, he'll fucking go and catch them in the sea as well.
Australians are built different, Chris. They just
exactly.
Well, I would like to get. I mean, like we do like live shows for our podcast, and you guys are playing live, big festivals and things like that. But you've played a lot of kind of smaller pub gigs and things like that.
Yeah,
and we know how like the hospitality writer, how much care is not given to that, where I'm like, I don't even know if I want to drink this bottled water, let alone trusting some, sound guy's brother to go pick out a dozen oysters for you. That sounds frightening. Especially like right before you go on stage in front of thousands of people, let's roll the dice with these raw oysters.
Yeah, it's very true.
That's risky as hell.
Talking about bad riders, it must have been about 10 years ago now, in a previous band, the singer of this band did a backflip off the stage, headbutted the stage, and then was like semi-concussed, a little bit bleeding. So we went backstage and he got a bottle of water out of like the fridge freezer section and was holding it against his face all night. And then we woke up in the morning in the hotel. There's like 8 of us in a hotel room. And someone's like, "What is that smell? It stinks." And then we realized that someone had pissed in a bottle and put it back in the freezer. And he had spent all night with his bottle of piss against his face. It was so good. And we were happy about it.
Damn, that is fucked up, man. Touring is so nasty. Like, it's so nasty. I can't believe people do it. Honestly, like, I can't believe people tour in that way. And I'm glad that you made it out of the slums and now you're playing big festivals in European nations that I can barely pronounce. Because that's when you've arrived. Because you guys you're in a bus, you're doing it right. You're staying at a Holiday Inn Express.
I think that kind of like, says it well, but festivals are the worst. Like, taking a shit in a porta toilet before you go on stage is still horrible. It's such a horrible feeling.
Yeah,
it takes you a few songs to get into the set. I can
imagine that. I can imagine it takes a little time, but I mean, festivals just seem awful to me. Except you get to see bands you like, I guess. But it just seems like because you're in and out, right? You only go for the day that you play. You're not hanging out all weekend.
It depends. We did Glastonbury recently, and Glastonbury was my first time there, and it was absolutely brilliant. I really enjoyed watching the bands. I watched Kendrick Lamar. absolutely amazing.
Sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that. Go ahead.
First time ever at Glasgow?
Yeah.
It was my first time as well.
Not a not patriotic one,
and also an unorganised one.
But I went to the toilet. I went to the toilet, and the horror, the absolute horror. Like every time I felt like I needed a shit, I'd be like, I could feel my anxiety. I was getting
you didn't get
sweats. I was terrified. The horror in that toilet.
Tom, can we tell?
There was a rumor going around as well that someone had fallen in there as well. So,
Tom, can we tell the story about the CDs?
No.
That's good.
Okay. All right. Well,
yeah, I would prefer to just leave it at that. Perfect comedic timing.
Yeah, that was incredible. I mean, I think so. It's always been my kind of Anglophile dream to attend Glastonbury, but I will only want to go if Oasis reunites, and it's kind of like I'm getting the Alexa Chung treatment, you know? Like I fly in.
I met her there.
Did she take a liking to you or no?
Did you get the digits? Did you get her mobile?
No, God no, mate, look at me. But, I used to play in a band, and she's friends with the keyboard player from that band, and so I was chatting to her, and she was dancing at my girlfriend's.
Wait, so you guys have been in a lot of bands. Anybody we recognize from our years reading NME online?
Nah.
But you guys kind of come from a little bit of like a hardcore background, a wee bit.
Yeah.
Is that safe to say?
Yeah, probably more so me. Yeah.
Okay.
I've done like all sorts of bands that have lasted about 12 minutes and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay. So what kind of hardcore are we talking about? Were we ever London straight edge, mate?
No, never. I was actually in a straight edge band, but I was the only one who wasn't straight edge. But they were cool with it, so
okay.
That actually works out quite well when you tour Europe because you get all the drinks tokens to yourself.
Okay, now you're talking TJ language.
But then the flip side of that is you're the only one who's drunk. So.
But there was a pretty big straight edge scene in London, right? It's not that. Even though culture is drinking there, I feel like there's some straight edge heads.
Yeah, actually, places like Canterbury and Leeds were much bigger for straight edge, but the hardcore scene in London was a thing called the London Boys Union, LBU, and it had some pretty classic bands in it. But they actually were more into their beer and coke. And
that sounds like the straight edge bands where we're from too.
Yeah,
does that mean not straight edge?
Yeah, Jason's from Orange County. You ever heard of 18 Visions, bro?
18 Visions, 100%, absolutely, yeah. Love 18 Visions.
Yes, being straight edge is awesome until you discover how great cocaine feels.
I mean, do you remember that band called American Nightmare?
Of course.
Yeah, we've had the singer on this podcast.
We see Wes around because he's around LA.
Yeah. Oh well, I mean, we used to know Wes when they were all straight edge and in Boston and stuff like that, and then he sort of lost the edge, and everyone ignored him, and it was really like I remember thinking like this is one of the best bands around. Like, why would you ignore them? But they were very moral, and the weird thing was they're okay with me because I was upfront about the fact I was never ever going to be straight edge. You take one look at me, like that dude has never not taken drugs in his life.
That guy's taking drugs right now.
Yeah.
When did you start? Well, are we talking like were you a high school partier, or did it take you a little longer in life to get to the yay?
I don't really take it, to be honest with you. I'm much more into like weed and like magic mushrooms, that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. I find coke is quite like. It's quite handy if you're tired, but you don't want to go. If you want it like.
That's the most British thing I've ever heard.
It's quite handy.
A little bump in the morning.
Yeah.
How are you guys? Because I used to manage a band, and I was always quite impressed because I was a big party guy, and so were they, and we would do the same amount or more of different substances, and then they would have to take the stage and perform for an hour, and they would just nail it, because it was just like second nature. Now, are you able to do that as you get older? Like if you're seeing fucking stars looking in the sky when you're on mushrooms, can you still hit your time?
No.
Okay.
Does it matter? No.
We had a show in Oxford. Was it on? I think the last UK tour we did before the pandemic. And I kept looking over at Tom, and I was like, man, he's really fucking hating this show. And I was like, sounds really great. The audience really loving it. And I was like, oh man, I feel really bad for him. He's really hating it. Then after the show, I was like, are you okay? He's like, I'm so stoned. He was just stood dead.
Dude, I don't know.
I was having a great time.
So you can get John Blaze before you touch the stage, but anything else, maybe you want to stay away from.
Yeah, I mean, I'm partial to a few drinks before I play, and that doesn't make me a good player.
Yeah.
It just really doesn't. But weed weed's weird. It does. Like, you really get into playing with your stones. Yeah.
Yeah, alcohol, you just get sloppy and you just miss your chords and stuff like that.
Yeah, I like to drink before and during, but my main issue is needing to go to the toilet. So I have to like limit how much I drink based on how long the set is.
Well, Chris, we need to tell them about the shiwi.
Yeah, have you guys heard about the shiwi?
Yeah, but that's not going to help.
Well, if it's good enough for the 1975, it's good enough for you guys.
No, it's not.
We just learned about the shiwi from George from 1975, and he was saying that maybe this is what, because their set now that they're doing is like 2 hours long.
Oh God, that poor audience.
He's just. And he was like,
not everyone's a fan. Got it.
Okay, haters. All right, fine. And he was like, the set's just too fucking long. I don't know what to do. And then he's like, maybe we should do like a shiwi. And I was like, I've never heard of that. And then he sent me a link. But you guys have heard of this, so this must be a popular British thing.
Yeah, but as in a shiwi, it just helps women urinate in public, right?
Yeah, that's what I thought, Chris, because I was telling my life partner about the shiwi, and she's like, why the fuck is a guy using it while
first
he's
of all,
sitting down? The whole point of it is for a woman to simulate a male penis to stand and
would you guys
wee.
all fucking relax? It's obviously just a joke, okay? Everybody stop, get out of your little...
Well, don't joke here, because it's a serious problem. It's a serious problem we have on stage.
Yeah, Chris, I had no idea it was a joke, honestly.
I just think it's more because Shiwi makes a range of products. if you go to their website, so I think there is room to maybe customize something and make it more for the male genitalia as well. So you are able to piss in a bottle.
Well, I did tell that to my girlfriend as well, and she said, "So a diaper." Just wear a diaper on stage.
Basically.
I'm down with that.
I'll try anything once.
Yeah, have you guys tried that before? You're looking into it, or is this the first time you've thought of it?
We're trying to get custom ones.
Have you guys ever taken a wee break while in the middle of a set? You're just like, sorry guys, I can't do it.
When we do an encore, normally one of us runs to the toilet.
Hold on. You guys do an encore? It seems like pretty early. Well, it seems a little.
Why are you so surprised?
It seems a
by
little
that?
premature. I don't know. I mean, you guys have a lot of music, of course, but I just feel like you would maybe frown on that, just based on your personalities.
They're showmen at the end of the day.
It's a toilet break.
Okay. Okay, so you come back, you do your Stevie Nicks cover after you take a piss, and it just feels better that way.
I've done a lot of DJing in my day, and every time I have to go pee. And then I come back, I feel like Tiesto, like flying on an airplane. It really changes the way that you perform once you've finally relieved yourself. It feels amazing.
Yeah, when I used to DJ, I had tracks that I used to play when I needed to pee.
Yeah, that long one, man.
Yeah.
Is there an understood track in the DJ community that is the best for that? If you're a big room, not big room EDM, but more of an open format DJ, is there a go-to track that all DJs agree upon?
Everything by Godspeed You Black Emperor.
That's right. Good call.
Anything Godspeed, that'll buy you 17 and a half minutes.
Yeah.
I used to do Donna Summer, I Feel Love.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't get boring. It's good enough. You can play the whole 12-inch version.
That's a perfect example, and it's like 8 minutes long or something like that.
Yeah, and that's all I need. You can get a little cigarette break in that as well.
You can have a shit and cook a meal. And then have another shit.
Damn, perfect song. So are you doing much DJing anymore, or have you retired like Jason because now you're a famous musician?
No, we have our own show.
Yeah. We've actually, back to Simon Le Bon, we all had our own show on Six Music end of last year, and we got to have a guest, and Simon Le Bon was my guest.
Damn.
And then at the moment we've got a monthly, is it monthly, Tom, on NCS?
Yeah, monthly, yeah.
No, I don't mean that. I don't mean that fucking Brooklyn white boy shit. I mean, are you in the club fucking with 4 CDJs going absolutely fucking crazy?
Jason, I'm in the club right now.
Don't tell me about your little your NTS. Give me a break, dude. Come on.
Yeah, I did. This is my selection of Japanese jazz from 1940s.
Yeah.
He's talking about.
I'm talking about real shit, bro. I'm talking about bottle service. I'm talking about chicks. I'm talking about fun. I'm not talking about NTS.
Yeah, you totally got us there. None of that.
Okay.
No fun.
Okay, so you're saying that you do an NTS show every month where you DJ and put together a set, but you never feel like touching the Pioneer at Chiltern? I don't understand.
Just a little pub gig.
I used to do them years ago, and I really enjoyed it. I'd like to get back into it, especially while on the road. A bit of a touring DJ would be fun.
Yeah, you can make a little extra cash.
No, that's what we do on stage. You make a little side money, and then the best part about DJing is you don't have to split it with all those fucking bandmates. You know what I mean?
Sorry, say that again. That sounds great. I'm joking.
I mean, so this NTS show, because I make fun of Jason for listening to NTS all the time. Even though it's good, I don't know what it is. I just love to make fun of it. And I don't know. They don't pay you, just to clear it up.
I don't think so. No.
I don't feel like we're getting paid.
They're not. Well, we're not seeing the money if we get paid.
I don't feel like I'm getting paid.
No, I don't think they pay you, but it can be good exposure for an emerging artist.
So it's just straight vibes. Then you're just doing it for the love of the music and to kind of get there with your homies, have a couple pints, and mix it up.
Well, also, if you love DJing and making mixes, there isn't really like a good home for that.
Yeah.
You know, you can't just put your mix on Spotify or Apple.
It's worth mentioning that when we did me and Lewis did a mix for Six Music, and they said you can't play half of this.
Yeah.
Like you just can't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like they said,
I see. Okay.
particularly because our show was going to come out when the Queen died, and they were like, "That's offensive. That's offensive. That's offensive. That's offensive."
What was so offensive? Was the Sex Pistols hitting that hard for them?
To be honest, for some reason, this entire country went absolutely crazy when the Queen died. So it's like if you had anything in drop D, they were like, "Nah, too offensive. Nah."
Really?
Not drop D.
Just anything with a somber mood to it. We best not play that.
Yeah. Oh man, some of the stuff they said no to was crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, we've talked to a lot of people about this, but it felt like a lot of people just kind of had a cop out. You know, like Raf Simons canceled his show. It feels like the samples weren't ready. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if Burberry has the contract with the family, they have to do it. But I feel like everybody else, you know, I don't know. It just seems like it was a lot of like, were your local restaurants closed and shit, or was it?
Oh yeah,
could you still get around town?
No, you couldn't get around town, right? They were closing bike racks.
What? Bike rack?
I'm serious.
What do you mean?
Serious. Yeah.
Like, so
you're not allowed to chain your bike. You're not allowed to chain your bike to this bike rack during this period because the Queen is dead.
Wow. That's not even a joke. That's serious.
No, I believe it.
That is fucking twisted.
We were in the States when it was her funeral.
Thank God.
It's really funny meeting people who are like, "We're sorry for your loss," and we're like, "Thank you." It's really hard. Can I get an upgrade?
I mean, I can get business class.
Can I get a top up?
You just want a free refill at Starbucks, and
Exactly.
Yeah. So somebody just keeps sending you Pimm's cups from across the bar.
Do you wish you were home so you could have experienced it with your fellow countrymen?
Nope.
Fuck no.
No. Okay. Because I wouldn't. If I would have been there and I couldn't have gone to one of my little restaurants or gotten my tea at Claridge's, I would have been quite upset. But I also don't. As a known Anglophile, the only thing I don't understand about you and your people is the dedication to the royal family. It's something we brought up with all of our Brits.
What I would say is that there is no dedication to the royal family, or rather that it's kind of a much smaller part of the community than you think it is. It's more that it's the fascination it has globally is, you know, it is weird. I don't give a fucking shit about the monarchy. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But The Crown is a great series.
I love it. I love Emma Corrin as much as the next guy, but I don't understand. I guess my issue is none of them are hot. You know. And that's kind of what in America, usually we demand that of our famous people.
Yeah, all of our presidents and politicians are very hot.
That's why your country's the best country on earth.
That's right. That's right. We put looks first, God damn it. No, Jason, I don't mean, but we look at the royal family is different than the president.
No, of course they are, but they still have some government power and swing, though, right?
Yeah, but I'm saying
because we don't have an equivalent.
No,
they have no constitutional power at all.
Yeah. They're meant to sign off when there's a new president, as a new prime minister, which we have every week at the moment. But apart from that, they don't really do anything.
Yeah, I mean, on paper they don't, but you get the feeling that there's some strings being pulled in the back, maybe.
Not really, no. I mean, what happened was when we had our civil war, we had Oliver Cromwell became the head of state, and we were briefly a republic, And then he realised this is a lot of bullshit work being head of state. Let's get the monarchy back, and they can do the bullshit bit of waving at everyone. And then the parliament will get on with the actual work of power. Whereas, so basically, we have a very expensive group of people who just wave at things. And the actual power mongers just get on with the work behind the scenes. Very smart move. Very smart.
I would love to be a well-paid waver. That sounds like a great job to me. And you get you get the Range Rovers and stuff and the houses in the country.
I've got 2 words for you, my friend. The Crown.
I mean, I honestly haven't watched that because
no one's fucking happy on that show.
I haven't watched that, but people seem to really like it. I just can't. It's too popular. I would lose interest. But you're saying that
that's great.
You're saying it's a must-watch. Is that what you're saying?
I think so. I mean, it's fictionalized, obviously, but even recent history shows the royal family are not happy people.
Oh, yeah.
They're all paedophiles. They're all half deranged, deeply unhappy, deeply flawed, deranged people. All that waving's made them all go mad.
So it's just like the church.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. And they're the head of the church.
Yeah.
You guys just did Primavera here in LA a couple months ago, right?
That's right.
I would love to see your thoughts, your scene report on Los Angeles.
Okay, we're contrasting because I fucking love LA. Lewis is a little bit less convinced.
I'm slowly getting into it, but traditionally used to hate it.
In different bands, or like just coming as a tourist or something?
No, I wish I could pretend it was a long time ago. We've disbanded in the past couple of years.
Okay. No, I mean, it's definitely not for everyone.
I don't get. I have my issues with. I like to drink. And I don't get the idea that you have to drive everywhere.
Sure.
It's called drunk driving. You should try it.
Yeah, because that's it. We don't drink drive in the UK.
That's because you guys are too drunk. You know, that's the difference. It's like
No, because they have a bus that you can just get on and it takes you and it works, versus the bus in Los Angeles is...
Yeah, you can't take the tube here. That's for sure. But look, if you're only here for a couple days and you're hitting the pub with your mates, like you can't spring for an Uber. I thought the band was doing pretty well.
We're doing well, but not uber well.
That's a walk on tour.
Slow down, Moneybag.
We're doing well. We're doing well enough to have a BB6 mix, but we're not doing well enough to get the Uber Black back to the Hollywood edition. You know, that's too much.
We had to walk to the BBC.
I like to do a pub crawl.
Yeah.
I'll go into Soho and I'll kind of go to 6-7 different bars depending how long we're out for, and kind of like walk around. And that's kind of what I like. That's what I like. I like people watching. There's no one on the streets in LA.
That's true.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Well, we're going to be going to London together. I mean, we've both been separately many times. We're going together for some business in January. What's the number one Soho pub for Jason to have a couple cold ones and blast some cigs outside with the locals?
Hopefully one where you could smoke indoors. I know that doesn't really exist too much anymore, but if you have a secret one, let me know.
If you go to Germany, you can do that. No one gives a shit in Germany.
Yeah. We was in Germany recently, and there's loads of no smoking signs. Like, as in too many. I was like, why is there so many no smoking signs here? And they were like, because everyone smokes inside. Yeah. And I was like, okay.
You can't read the signs because of the smoke. I'll pass this over to Lewis, because Lewis is Mr. Soho. He's the king of Soho.
So there's a lot of pubs in Soho have the same name.
Okay.
So you have to be kind of like quite careful with that.
Okay.
Do you have an example? I know there's probably like 100 different places called the something Arms.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
Well, as in, I'm trying to search now, so I can find 3 Coach and Horses in Soho.
Yeah.
But
okay,
one of them is the best one. So they're actually all not too bad, but the one that's on Greek Street is the main one.
Okay.
And I go there so much that a few months ago, someone who works behind the bar was like, "Do you work around here?" And I was like, "No." She was like, do you live around here?" I was like, "No." She was like, "You're always in here." And I was like, "I like this pub."
I just like it. Well, what is the draw? Is it the crowd? Is it the barmaids? Is it the jukebox? What is the draw for you?
Oh, so okay, no music.
Perfect. Yeah. Hell yeah.
But they have a piano. They have a piano, and one day a week they do like old Cockney songs around the piano.
Okay, I like that.
It's kind of just off the main road enough that it doesn't really get any kind of tourists. It's kind of just people who work around there, or people who kind of just know Soho well.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a big outside area where you can smoke and you can stand on the street. And there's not a lot of pubs around Soho have like a security guard restricting you on the pavement and stuff. At this pub, you can just stand in the road.
Okay,
and,
I see
no
what
one's giving you shit. They also do the best Guinness in Soho.
Okay, what makes a Guinness the best? Because I thought a beer is a beer.
That's a good fucking question. That is. That's a good fucking question.
There's a few little tests you can do.
Okay.
So when you first get it, so you can kind of see. Well, one, it needs to be in a proper glass. Two, like
hold on.
As opposed to being poured into your hand.
Yeah, what do you mean by proper glass? Just a proper pint glass, perfectly sized? Is it cold? Is it room temp? What's your preferred?
A room temperature Guinness glass.
Okay.
Like there's an Instagram called Shit London Guinness, and they just post pictures of bad pints of Guinness from around London, and there'd be like a Guinness in a Stella glass, or like a Guinness in like a wine glass.
Damn,
and like legit, like people got served this.
Sacrilege.
That is some niche content right there.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so it needs to be a Guinness branded glass. You don't want any brand mixing.
No, not at all.
No, Guinness has a specific glass. You know, the temperature, the carbonation, the pour, the flavor, how old it is. There's a zillion things you gotta put into it. I'm assuming.
And also, my favorite to do with Guinness geeks is to tip the glass slightly to the side, and the head of the beer kind of floats out the glass, and it almost looks like it's a solid, or like almost like jelly. And you can kind of pour it quite far without it coming out the glass, and that's the sign of a good Guinness.
Wow.
Like
okay. Wow. This is getting scientific. I thought this was merely aesthetic based, but you're saying there's some like actual consequences.
There's a lot of technique into it. Well, question, is it sacrilegious to a Guinness geek to have a Guinness mixed with cider or mixed with champagne or any of those other combinations? What do you think?
Oh, we did those, didn't we, Lewis, when we signed our record deal?
With champagne? We did. No, we did. What did we do? We did it with champagne. And what was the other one? Was it with whiskey or something?
You can just dump anything into the shit?
Oh. I mean, you technically can, but it's such a bitter, kind of dark, heavy flavor, so then people will mix it with a bright kind of sweet cider or a light champagne, and it creates a nice contrast.
What's normally quite classic is blackcurrant. Normally, people quite like.
That's actually very nice.
Wait, what's that?
Like blackcurrant juice.
Oh, you guys are fucking freaks, man. I'm all set on that. Why don't you just have a vodka soda and a couple bumps like a normal man? I don't understand this. I don't understand.
You guys have such a weird drinking culture in the States, though. Of like, I like a pint. As in, I don't get the small can of beer and a shot of bad whiskey and just doing that for an hour, then going home.
Well,
That seems to be, that's what I see when I'm in the States. And then the other side is like these crazy strong IPAs. They're insane. It's like eating a meal.
Yeah, it is probably quite filling. I'm proud to say, as a person who's sober, that I stopped partying before the IPA rush experience.
Oh, you were lucky.
So I've literally never had one. But I hate the cans. So I feel some sort of, I feel like I'm doing my part to kind of fight the good fight.
You don't like those IPA makers expressing themselves artistically on the cans.
I just really don't think that that's the place to express it. It's like everything doesn't need to look like a bad Grateful Dead tape.
I also don't want to pay $12 for a can of beer.
Yeah, we were in Germany recently,
Yeah, exactly.
and we drank some of these. There's a region in Germany called Cologne. They make their own very specific lager called Kolsch. And on the glasses, it says established in 1559, whatever. And you're sort of like, right. So that took 500 years to get that good, or at least it's been that good for 500 fucking years. People set up an IPA in 1 week, and they're sort of making beer the next week, and then you get these massive headaches. There's a reason for that. It's because they're fucking shit at it. They're making a shit beer that's full of awful chemicals.
So you're saying that you only want an old world kind of before Christ type lager. You're not interested in these newfangled brewery born, hipster beers with.
We've kind of grown out of it over here a bit. We've kind of gone back to kind of like just standard like Hells and kind of stuff like that. And that kind of seems to be the fashion at the moment, which I'm very happy about. Like a beer you can drink all night. We kind of started doing session beers, which I kind of got the term wrong originally, where they're like 2 or 3%, so you can drink them for like 24 hours straight. But I quite like just like a 4.5%, just Hells.
I like that you're looking. I like that Your criteria for good beer is I could drink this for 24 hours straight, kind of still be standing. That's what I'm looking for when I'm kind of okay. That makes a lot of sense.
It's like my issue with people doing the small cans and the shots. I want to be out in the pub for as long as possible.
That's where you feel most at home.
Whereas America's like, I need to get blacked out as soon as possible.
Oh yeah, of course.
It's worth saying that Lewis is living in a house that has a pub in its garden right now.
It's true.
Wait, hold on. So are you living? Because I know that in the UK you can stay at the pub. They have a chamber rooms or whatever,
Like a hotel above it. Yeah.
Are you living in a pub? Are you an alcoholic?
No, both. I am because we're touring so much. I moved in with my sister and her husband, and they have a house. And in the back of the garden, my brother-in-law built a fully functioning. I've got friends who own bars which have less stock than they have. It's got bar pumps. It's got it's quite a big room. You could it's probably bigger than some bars, and it's fully stocked.
We often go over to watch the football. I also love, Lewis, the way you just said, I've moved in with my brother-in-law and my sister in a house. Cause it's so unusual now that someone lives in a house. No one is.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I say that because generally name someone we know who lives in a house. Apart from me.
Just you.
Yeah.
So in America, we have a man cave, and then over there, you guys have a man garden, is what it sounds like.
Yeah.
And then you could watch the footy, smoke some cigarettes, talk about tits and stuff like that.
That's exactly what happens.
I mean, you guys don't make enough money over there. That's my main gripe with the UK. I feel like the salaries are too low. You get grown men with roommates. It's hard to not only party, but to probably have sexual intercourse with strangers. So I don't know what can you do to remedy that besides becoming a rock star?
This ain't helping either.
I've got no idea.
Well, don't go on a podcast, it sounds like.
Yeah, don't podcasting is not going to help any of this. But that's kind of our fault, I guess. But yeah, I don't understand. The salaries are so low that grown-ups have to have roommates. That's something that we got to talk to Parliament about.
I said this to Tom the other day. Someone who we worked with in the States did a post about I think it might be like a restaurant or a bar that they worked that was looking for staff for one night. And it's like a 6-hour shift. And they were getting $180. And I was like, in the UK, a 6-hour shift in a bar like that is £10 an hour. You get £60. And if you have a break, you don't get paid for the break. So it's like a quarter of the amount.
You don't even get paid for a break?
Yeah.
With the pound and the dollar pretty much being equal at the moment. Fuck.
It's pretty cool for us though.
Yeah, I can't wait to come blow some pounds at Selfridges, baby.
Don't forget though, if you get really drunk that night and you get hit by a car, you can go to the NHS for free.
I forgot about that.
Okay, all right, relax, Mr. Frontline.
It is good for
supporter.
small injuries, but you guys don't have specialists over there like we do, you know. So
yeah, you don't have any specialists.
Who told you that?
Who told you that?
Just American propaganda, normal stuff.
exactly. Where we get our news, they kind of tell us stuff about you guys, you know, and I've heard that as well.
No, you guys have great doctors over there. It's more so that's what we tell the Canadians whenever they try to rub it in our faces that they have, you know, things like health insurance and health care.
Oh, yeah.
And then we're like, okay, well then one of you has like a brain tumor. You gotta come down to Boston or something like that to do it anyway.
Oh yeah, I mean,
so we got that going for us.
There's specialists. I mean, like the NHS isn't free because it's run by amateurs, you know, enthusiasts.
I'm an enthusiast. You guys were talking a lot about the NHS for a while. I kept seeing all this stuff and merchandise and shit. So I'm glad to hear that you guys haven't backed off from that.
Oh, we're very proud of it.
Well, they were the true heroes of the lockdown. They were the ones that sorted everything out. Like, they were the best. And now they're being treated like shit. So everyone's trying to sort them out. The nurses are going to go on strike soon. So there's going to be loads of press about what scum the nurses are, but they're actually not. They're great.
Sure.
Well, I only read the Daily Mail for my British news, so I kind of find out, which I hear is not the best, but that's kind of just, I like the way it looks with all the ads and stuff. It's fun to use on my computer.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
Yeah, that's
well, I mean, they did the great coverage on Donald Trump's ugly daughter's wedding this weekend. Like, you can't really get that stuff. You can't really get that stuff everywhere in the time that I need it, like instantaneously. So I just want to give them a shout out for that.
It was in the Guardian, but quite low down.
Yeah, see, I need above the fold Tiffany Trump wedding coverage. You can only get that on the dailymail.co.uk, and that's the gift that keeps on giving.
The only time I find myself on that shitty website is when I Google something about a football player, or maybe about like transfer news, and it's the only fucking website that comes up, and then it says like accepts cookies. I'm like, oh, I don't want to give the Daily Mail my shit, and then I just choose a different sport.
And also, they lie about the football as well.
Really?
Yeah.
They're all lies as well, yeah.
Oh, yeah. What, are they saying that the football players are actually faithful to their wives or something? Or is it like a lie that matters?
Stuff like that. It's more like transfer rumors, like, oh, Ronaldo's going to sign for Arsenal, and it's like, that's not true.
Okay, but why? How do you know it's not true? You got inside. Are you an inside man at Arsenal, or are you just guessing?
No, I know. I got people in high place. Lewis actually does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who do you guys support, by the way? Just
Arsenal.
Arsenal. We're both Arsenal fans.
all right. Go Gunners.
Are they good?
Top of the league, mate. Top of the league.
We're top of the league.
Oh, okay. Top of the league. Does that mean number one?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't some sort of British slang. It actually means number one.
That could just mean they're trying their hardest. But no, they're number one over Man City, Newcastle, Tottenham. And sad to see Man U down at number 5, isn't it, guys?
Nope.
I guess I'm asking the wrong people.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, fuck those guys.
Yeah, that's your rival, right?
No, not our rivals.
Tottenham.
Yeah.
We despise
Okay,
Tottenham.
Okay. Yeah. Fuck off, Tottenham.
Exactly.
Fuck off, Tottenham. How often are you guys going to the matches and getting absolutely hammered while you support your team while wearing a jersey? And does it say like the band name on the back, or is it just regular?
You can't drink at the stadiums.
What?
Because of the violence?
You can drink at the stadium, but you can't drink in the stands. You can't sit with a drink. You have to. So I made the mistake the last time I was there of ordering 2 beers, heading into the seats, and the guy says you can't take those in, so I had to drink them both.
You got to skull them
in about 2 seconds, and then I sat down. I was sat down, and I was so drunk I don't remember any of the game.
Because here in the U.S., I recently was in Atlanta, where I'm from, and I took my dad to a Falcons game, American football, and I was just checking out some of the prices. People love to complain about the prices at these things. So is the pint price astronomical when you're supporting Arsenal, or is it a little more reasonable?
No, it's fucking astronomical.
Well, gentlemen, the last time I was there, I was inside a player's box, so I did not pay for it.
There it is.
All right, big dick. Are you saying to me that there's a football player that listens to Dry Cleaning and not Bad Bunny? Because I don't believe you.
Yep, there is.
I teed you up for this
Wow.
10 minutes ago, Lewis. I teed you up for this.
I know, I waited. I was trying to be modest for a bit.
I'll clean that up in post.
Which player is gay? I would love to know.
Which isn't.
Okay, so you're in one of the boxes at the Emirates Stadium, putting some pints back, looking down at the punters.
So there's like a room, and it's like full of free beer and like pictures of the player and stuff. And then you can see the pitch from the room. But if you have a drink in your hand, they make you close the blinds because you're not allowed to technically drink and watch the game at the same time.
Oh, so is it like what is the rule? Is it a religious thing? Is it a violence thing? Or is it just common British manners and decency?
Doubt it.
Probably the second one is probably to stop violence and stuff. Yeah. It's not a religious thing. It's not, a manners thing.
Now, in your younger days, have either of you been involved in any football related violence?
No, I always that stuff's fucking embarrassing, man. It's a fucking sport.
do you know what's worse though? It's coming back. So where I've moved to, I get the train kind of to London Bridge, and there's like Millwall, which is kind of traditionally like a London kind of like hooligan team. On a Saturday, there's so many kind of like 14-year-olds and 15-year-olds wearing Stone Island, which is like the clothing that's worn by hooligans, just with like a crate of beer under their arms, just all screaming at each other, just trying to get into fights. So it's it disappeared for a few years. It's coming back.
Dude, you can't claim that Millwall ever stopped having football violence. Come on.
No, but it's
they invented
but the
it.
youth are getting back into it now. It kind of I thought it was dying out.
There's a renaissance of hooliganism. So if you're on, there's nothing
Thank
more
God.
of a pain in the ass than a group of 15-year-olds, 16-year-olds drunk.
Yeah, it's very annoying.
But so you're on the train, they're all carrying on. If you've got your Arsenal hat on, you'll maybe tuck it into your coat, or do you wear it proudly and die on your feet, not on your knees?
I just ran and cried. Yeah, they were like trying to pick
You
up
just
people.
ran
There
and
was
cried.
a guy they were like, that guy's wearing a Chelsea shirt. It's Darren, Darren, that guy's wearing a Chelsea shirt. And they were trying to start people in the train station. It was pathetic.
See, that's not fair. Not to an innocent bystander. If you're not from the streets, they can't, if you're like a dad in a Chelsea shirt, you're not part of this. You got to leave them alone. That's not fair.
Unless it's a Tottenham shirt, then give them.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Yeah.
Give them the business.
Are you guys, now when you travel to protect yourself, do you keep a razor blade kind of in your mouth, or is there some other sort of weapon that you keep on you to protect yourself from these children?
No.
You guys aren't a master of the blade or something?
What is it with Americans and arming yourselves all the time?
And weapons, yeah.
Chill out.
I wish we could chill out.
You come to LA, bro. It's crazy out here. I got to keep that thing on me.
Yeah, it's crazy because you've all got weapons on you.
I don't have, the only weapon I have are my fucking 2 fists, and you don't want to see the other side of those, Chief.
Well, I mean, if they banned guns, then it wouldn't be a problem, but I don't think we're going to ever ban guns here, so everyone just has to get a gun because
oh yeah, and you guys
don't shoot them, they're going to shoot you.
You guys talk all this shit, but you can get stabbed all over London with a little knife. You guys have these cute little knives.
I got stabbed twice today.
It's like a mosquito bite. It just happens. You have to go on with your day.
We're so used to it.
It's a small stabbing.
The NHS is so busy. I don't even bother them with this stuff. Like this is low hanging fruit stuff. I kind of have to
chin
keep
up,
it moving.
man. Chin up. All right, guys. Well, thank you guys so much for chatting with us, taking the time, and congrats on the album rollout and the great reception it's getting. We're both fans over here, and we appreciate it.
Oh, thanks very much.
Love the artwork. We read about it today. We found a story about the artwork. It's so cool.
Yeah, Chris wanted to know if it was an actual image or if it was like a Photoshop creation.
No, it's an actual image.
I had a feeling.
We know where all the pubes came from. It was from one person, and over a Zoom, he kind of pointed around his body where they came from.
Damn. Of course, we talk about the coolest thing at the very end.
You guys are twisted cats. And I love it. I love it. The album.
Also,
yeah, please go ahead.
Can I just say thank you for actually reading an article and then not re-asking the question, actually just reading it. Be like, we've read the article, we know the answer.
Yeah.
Compared to everyone else.
Yeah,
that never happens.
No, that's why we're the best, guys. We're not one of these little publications that makes money and matters.
We're not here to teach our audience about you. We're here to talk about different ways that you can pour beers and stuff.
Exactly.
And also stabbings.
Yeah, and stabbings, of course. Stumpwork, the album from Dry Cleaning, in stores everywhere now. Fellas, we will see you soon.
Thanks very much for having us. Take care.
If you want to have a beer when you're in London, let us know.
Oh, we will. We definitely need to tap in with the gods. Absolutely. We'll let you know.
It'd be an honor.
Sweet. Have a good evening.
Later, fellas.
Night,
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Things are shit, but they're gonna be okay. And I'm gonna see the otters. There aren't any otters. There are. Well, we can check. And I'm gonna see the water caterpillar. Purple hair in the co-op, purple hair in the Alpine. I'd love to hold you across the middle and be your shoulder bag. You scrape your t-shirt thin. Is everything alright with you? It's autumn, windy webs. Well, things are shit, but they're gonna be okay. And I'm gonna see the otters. There aren't any otters. There are. Well, we can check. And I'm gonna see the water caterpillar. There's no such thing. Nice idea. I'm pro-tidy. A lot of faff. Don't push the door. Automatic door. St. Mark's trousers, my trousers, your trousers.